In the video above, we learned how we can create a brand new integration between Salesforce and Gecko Chat and how we can push over the wonderful contact information that we capture from students over to Salesforce. In this video, we're going to talk about how the conversation itself can be pushed across and where that can be pushed over to. Fortunately, again, this is really easy to do, and you first need to begin by going to Settings, Integrations, and clicking Manage or Setup if this is the first time you're creating a Salesforce integration, and heading over to the Conversation Fields section. Now, simply put, we need to tell Gecko where the conversation should be pushed to in Salesforce. And this is not an easy decision to make. We didn't want to be presumptuous. There are so many different places you could theoretically want to push information to in Salesforce. So we decided to leave the options entirely up to you. Begin by clicking Add New Conversation Field, and then choose where in Salesforce works for you and your organization for pushing over the information. Now, for the purposes of this, I'm going to want a new case created whenever a student conversation is closed. I want the transcript of that conversation to create a new case which is linked to that particular contact. For you, though, it might be a timeline, it might be an activity log, it could be any number of places that you want to be updated. To get started, I'm going to choose case. I'm then going to tell Gecko what attribute on the case that I want to fill. So for my particular use case, I would like to fill the description of the case with the transcript of the conversation. And here I just simply say, of all of the Gecko fields that we can choose to push across, it's going to be the conversation transcript. And I'm going to go ahead and click Create Mapping. Now, what this is then going to do is when a conversation is closed in Gecko, we're going to push across these contact details. We're then going to fill a new case in Salesforce with the transcript of the conversation. But currently, this case will be linked to absolutely no one. It's going to be a blank case. Now, again, we wanted to give you the granular control because there might be, for some people, that could be exactly what you want. But for those of you who would like the case to be linked to the contact that is having the conversation you're with in Gecko, just make sure to click the Add Relationship button and tell Gecko which field should be pushed across to Salesforce in order to manage the link between the case that's being created in our case and the overall contact. Now, it is again worth pointing out that once you've selected your module, it's going to give you just the option to continue syncing conversation fields to that place. Any number of fields can be chosen, and you have a ton of different data that can be pushed across. So from the Gecko side, the conversation ID, the status, when it was created, when it was last updated at, the subject line, if it's an email, the transcript that we've used, which agents or teams have been assigned, the bot that was involved, and how long in minutes the conversation took, which opens so many different doors to wonderful, rich data from your Gecko account being pushed over to Salesforce. But let's see this in action then. I have here a conversation where somebody was asking about a hold. I want this to push across and create a new case, so let's go ahead and close the conversation, which tells Gecko to start initiating that sync. Now, if we come over to our contact just here, we'll give this a refresh. We can see that that case has been created. If I move my face, which is always in the way no matter where it is, we should, oopsie. There we are, we can see this case just here. And if we go to the details, we can see the full transcript of the conversation as it took place, who was involved, who was sending the messages from the Gecko side, the agent, who was included, the times that these messages came across as well.